It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
Hey, our Wednesday was basically our Friday, so obviously a good excuse to pull out the tarot cards and do a Fortune Wednesday, tarot, horoscopes, and how bad could this Thanksgiving weekend really be? That's coming up a little bit later on in the podcast. Let's go, guys. So increased patrols throughout the Thanksgiving weekend. I'm on my way in this morning, crammed down a banana. You know why?
Potassium.
Monkeys never cramp.
That is true.
And I literally, my first instinct was to whip it out the window, and I look next to me, and there's a state patrol vehicle. I'm like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, it's probably good that you didn't, because just the motion of you doing that, they would have stopped you.
Well, I would have opened the passenger window and got it into the ditch. Mm-hmm. And so you wouldn't really, you probably would have seen that. But I was thinking, man, I almost threw a banana peel on the front window of a cop car. So what's the silly thing you got pulled over for recently? And I want to bring Kaylee onto the show. Good morning, Kaylee. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. This is your mother-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
tell us the story.
When my wife was in high school, she was riding with her mom, and my mother-in-law was speeding. Well, my wife was sitting in the front seat, and they were eating peanut butter and celery. Mm-hmm. And she thought that they were getting pulled over for eating while they were driving. Uh-huh. And she just chucks the can of peanut butter over her shoulder and the entire celery stalk over her shoulder into the back seat.
Oh, my God.
And every time I think about that, it makes me smile.
So they didn't chuck anything out the car, out of the vehicle?
No, she panicked and threw it into the back of the car.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? He was probably pulling her over for like a taillight being out.
I have been in a situation when I was in college where I had been in the back seat and there was some extracurricular activity going on with some fellas from the let's call them the Jamaican nation. Okay. And then he had gotten pulled over for rolling a stop sign. And I had to crotch a bunch of that stuff. And we're all just sitting back there, buckling our seatbelts. I'm moving back and forth kind of slow because it's uncomfortable, thinking if he drags us out of the car, we're all going down.
You ran with some unsavory fellows.
So I get it. I didn't throw it out the window, and I definitely didn't want to throw it in the back windshield, but I get the whole panicking situation. Kaylee, have a great day. Thanks for helping us out.
You too, thanks.
Take care. I got to take one more call real quick because Ashley knows a little bit about this with the apple cores and the banana peels, right?
It is littering. I got a ticket. I was driving down the freeway and just threw my apple core out, and the cop just stopped me and gave me a ticket for $80. I told him it was biodegradable.
Yeah.
And, soon enough, an animal was going to eat it, and that's how the world turns, right? That's how
This is ridiculous.
Instead of saying, I'm sorry, that was my bad, you went into that whole tangent. You know what we did hear about? Remember when I was throwing out my banana peels all the time? We had somebody from the DNR actually call in and say, you can't do that because that will draw wildlife to the road, because then they'll feel like, oh, that's where we can always find food, and then we hit them.
Littering is throwing like a soda bottle out or something that's not going to degrade. Like, this is ridiculous to get a ticket for throwing an apple core out the window. Got the text from Christy who said, I got pulled over for not letting my blinker blink 3 times before switching lanes.
Sounds like someone was having a really bad day. I can't imagine that they don't have other stuff to do.
Silly stuff you're getting pulled over for. I talked to Ashley a couple of minutes ago. She got an $80 ticket for throwing an apple core out the window. And Jonathan, you didn't end up getting the ticket. You talked him out of it?
Yes, I did.
Good for
God,
you. Were you on your period? Did you cry?
No, I'm a door dasher, so I deal with the cops with attitude and always have.
Yeah. Okay. So how'd you talk them out of it?
Show your boobs?
Well, I was driving down Franklin over there off of 10, and I went around the corner on the end before it makes up with Benton, and all of a sudden the front of my car made this huge bang. And, I mean, it didn't move or anything. It just was like a huge bang. And so what I did is I went up to the corner and turned back around to go see what I hit. I'm thinking animal, something like that.
Right.
And as I'm whipping back around, I caught this cop's attention that was on 10 and decided to come investigate. And he's like, I saw that you throw that out of your car. And I was like, what? And I'm over there looking to see what I hit. And he said he saw me throw something out of my car. And I walked along the shoulder, and he's not happy about me being out of the car and not listening to him. And I found the thing I hit. It was a 4.5-foot log branch that fell out of the tree that no way would fit in my car. But he saw me throw it out of my car.
He saw you throw a massive branch out of your car, is what he said.
All he saw is an item leaving the vicinity of my vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What are the odds at that exact moment that tree branch is like, there he is. Here we go.
Get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had to go 2 blocks to get down to the gas station to come up Franklin. So in my process of me turning around, we came together at about the same time, and I don't know if he thought I was coming back to pick up my apple core or my garbage or whatever it was that he saw.
Now, in his defense, Jonathan, you sound like a shady character. Do you look like one?
Yes.
Okay. There's probably a pretty good chance you committed a crime earlier, just not at that very moment.
Right. Well, you know what the difference between a crime and not a crime, right?
Nope.
Getting caught.
Getting caught.
Yeah,
That's right.
I like it. You can, I think, together.
Not a criminal until you're caught.
When it comes time, Kat, and you're a little bit older and your legs don't work so well, will you have somebody, a best friend, that will hold you up? And here's why I'm talking about this. I go to the gym yesterday. I work out at the Y, and you see the entire rainbow of people there. But the time that I work out, one of the biggest age groups are those seniors. They get in the pool and they're walking around and they got the little, their pool weights and everything like that. But every day I see one woman, and I'm guessing she's in her 70s, 80s, and she's not in the greatest health. But she has got a friend that is the same friend every day that is walking her to the pool, is walking her through the hallway. She's got her by the arm.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Same age?
They're about the same age, right? And one's just obviously in a little better physical health than the other one. But part of me says, man, if I get to that point, I'm probably just going to cash it in and watch TV till I die.
Yeah, God forbid you have a great friend.
The other part, I was like, they're out getting after it every day still, right? And they have that one friend that won't let them fall behind. You know, like it's primal, like that one, that like the little runt of the litter that you're still making way so they can get a little food, or the least strong wolf in the pack. Right. Don't let them fall behind. Don't let them fall behind. And this lady is holding this other lady up, walking her around every single day. Do you have anybody like that?
Well, aside from my husband,
you're going to outlive him by 35 years.
Absolutely. I would say the group of girls I have right now is unlike any that I've ever had. It was always kind of just surface with other girls that I've been friends with. It's been good, camaraderie, but it's like this group is, I don't know, you could just text at any hour and
they got somebody there for you.
Yeah, and it's really nice and I appreciate it. It's a mix of my book club and sports moms. And some people say, sports moms, they're going to die off after your kids graduate. And if that's the case, it is.
Not always, man. Some of my best friends are parents that, my oldest son was in sports with, or we got to know through whatever activity.
But I just see us going to their weddings and just still being in contact. And yeah, I'm good right now.
On a weekend of thanks. I looked at those two ladies yesterday and it gave me this moment of levity. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not about, working your ass off and making all this money and hustling and always doing something and always being busy. Like, when it comes to that last couple hours, there's going to be somebody holding you up. And I was like, oh my God, I got all prophetic and I almost cried. No, I didn't cry. I was too juiced up on pre-workout, but I was very appreciative of that. And I'm like, oh my God, do I even have somebody that would be willing to hold me up and not push me over? And then I was like, no.
Are you looking
It's making for an uncomfortable situation. So basically, Kat's going to pull out these tarot cards that we got from a rummage sale about 5 or 6 years ago for a quarter. We're not even sure the whole pack is there, but it seems to have worked out. How's Lisa feeling this morning?
Good.
Good. Have you ever had your tarot read before? Like you've done this at the Renaissance Festival or something?
No.
Okay. She just laughs it off. She's like, but I'll do it on the radio. No problem. So
I'm more legit than them. So you ready?
Oh, good.
Yeah. With these tarot cards we got. Anyways, Lisa is a Leo, Kat. So what's her horoscope looking like?
All right. Do we have an Ashley?
Oh, we do it?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This is Ashley. Never mind. I got to flip it around. Lisa was also waiting. This is Ashley. She's a Leo. That's my bad.
Okay, here we go. For all the Leos out there, the energy is going to pick up in your life today. You may be asked to report to duty. Don't make promises that you can't keep. Your words will be taken seriously, and you should not mislead people into thinking that something is going to happen when you know it's not going to happen. You also know that a situation will turn out a certain way, so trust yourself. Trust your gut regardless of the circumstances, okay?
Oh, boy. Okay.
Hey, what
Does
do you
that
want?
ring true to anything? Are people going to expect something from you today?
Well, I manage a group home, so they expect something every day.
Oh, there it
Absolutely.
is. That's where your call to duty is. Like something's going to happen. We just had one of the radio stations here that are in our cluster. Somebody spilt a giant bottle of Monster all over the board, and it fried it out like before they were supposed to go on the air.
No bueno.
And they were panicking, and so our engineers had to be called to duty right away this morning. So what's her card for the tarot?
The card that popped out while you were on hold was the 9 of Wands, which stands for obstacles overcome and imminent success. That's always a good card.
Jeez.
Because even if you are going to deal with stuff like today, success will be waiting for you. Okay?
That sounds good.
It's all coming up, Ashley. I hope you have a great weekend. Travel safe.
You too. Thank you.
Take care. Appreciate it. All right, let's do one more here real quick. Hi, Melissa. How are you today?
Fabulous. Yourself?
Fabulous. That's a great answer. We're great. Thanks for asking. You got big plans for the long weekend?
Just hanging out with my husband and 4 daughters.
Oh, nice.
That's got to be. Are any of them back from school? Because my daughter came back from school yesterday, and it was like a Tasmanian devil.
No, they're 10 all the way down to 3, so they're still at home with us.
Yowza.
They know the rules.
They're little monsters.
They're not independent yet.
They're monsters. Okay, so with your lifestyle that you just described, that's why I'm a Pisces as well. And when I read this morning, I looked at JJ. I'm like, this couldn't be more inaccurate. Like, it made me so angry. All right, so today, for both of us, your usual lazy attitude will receive a burst of energy tonight. It's in your nature to not want to lift a finger. Can you even believe this?
So accurate.
But for some reason, you may be compelled to get up and move. You're going to find that when you connect with others, you're more motivated to make things happen for yourself. So you're going to get some attention that you feel you deserve. Your devotion is strong. That first part is so dumb.
Lisa, are you a lazy person like Kat, by nature?
What am I lazy with?
I'm sorry, Melissa, are you lazy?
He's so lazy.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, this one's way off, but it might be speaking to another Pisces out there. The card that popped out for you was the 4 of Swords, which three good
Stands for
R's.
lazy.
Retreat, revitalize, and reinvention. People are always, you should be reinventing yourself often. Like, who's the new
Melissa doesn't agree with that. She's like, all right, I'm doing none of this. This was a sham, and I got to get on with my merry day because you people are polluting me.
Wonderful.
All right. Always.
It was great.
Bingo. How fun.
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo what bingo?
Bingo.
All right, let's do a round of listener bingo. We get to get a great story out of you on the radio because you're somebody listening who
found a sibling. So Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins had this conversation on Howie Mandel's podcast, and it was so interesting.
About 10 years ago, my stepmother said to me, do you know who Bill Burr is? Now, at that point, I'd never heard of Bill Burr. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was a comedian or he could have been the guy down the street. I think I even somehow called up a picture on a phone, and I kind of noticed right away, like, gee, he really looks like my father. I said to my mother, like, well, why are you asking me this? She goes, I think Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician. This is a true story. I'm not making up. There's no joke in this. This is a true story.
Well, have they found out? Is this real?
I don't know if they did DNA testing yet. I would think that Bill Burr would want to know, but how weird would that be to have a Billy and a Bill? Two brothers.
And they look a lot alike.
Well, Bill Burr looks just like Billy's dad. And that's why the stepmom was like, I think that I know that there is a connection and you might want to look into it. Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking for anyone listening who has kind of found a step sibling or a sibling out there?
Half sibling, yep.
And I'm looking for anyone listening who has a name. Like your name is kind of synonymous with this time of the year. And first through is young Finley. Which one do you fit here, buddy?
Hi, my middle name is Winter.
So it's Finley Winter.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. But is that your favorite season? You like winter or are you more like a summer?
I like winter.
Do you have any other siblings that have weird middle names?
My mom and my dad wanted to named my sister Sunshine.
Who talked him out of that?
We named my sister after her grandma.
Oh, I got you. And your grandma's name wasn't Sunshine, so they had to go one or the other?
Yeah.
So they would have had sunshine in winter. Your parents like meteorologists, or what do they do for a living?
No, just hippies.
I know a lot of people are going to be on the roads, especially over Thanksgiving break. But throughout the entire holiday season, doing some heavy traveling. We welcome Lisa to the show, who is on the road right now.
Yep.
How far is your
way to work?
Yeah, how far is your commute every day?
It's about 20 miles.
Which one makes you laugh out of both of us so hard on your way to work?
It's okay if you say Kat, because she's feeling down today.
No, I'm not.
I will just say both of you make me laugh.
Oh, my God.
Good answer, Switzerland.
All
All right, Lisa, since everybody's doing a little bit of traveling for the holidays, I wanted to play a quick game with you and Kat, just based on distances, to see which one of you are better aligned with long drives in the United States. So what I'm looking for is your guess in miles. Closest without going over, like The Price is Right, is a winner. So, Kat, I'll let you guess first on this one.
Okay.
Without typing anything in.
Okay.
The distance from our studio, downtown St. Cloud, to Lincoln, Nebraska, in miles.
In miles to Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm going to say 1,400.
Lisa, how many miles from St. Cloud, downtown, to Lincoln, Nebraska, closest without going over?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe 375.
Lisa's the winner. Lisa's the winner without going over.
To Lincoln, Nebraska?
It's 434 miles to Lincoln, Nebraska, not 1,400.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So that's a good guess, Lisa.
Oh, wow. That's like to Colorado or something. I don't know.
It's about the same distance. All right, Kat.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Lisa, you have to guess first on this one. Lisa,
okay.
in distance, miles on the road, how far is it from downtown St. Cloud to Mexico City, closest without going over?
Oh my gosh, this might be hard. Maybe like, this is so funny. I'm the most directionally challenged person on earth, so I'm going to guess this one.
You're going to win the prizes anyway.
How about, okay, cool. How about 2,800 miles?
She says 2,800, Kat. How many miles from here to Mexico City?
I'm just going to say 1,400 again.
Kat wins this one.
Okay.
Lisa was just a little bit over. You were close, though. What did you say, 2,800 or 2,200?
28.
She was the closest. Well, actually, it's about the horse apiece. 2,100 miles.
Okay.
From St. Cloud to Mexico City. All right, last one, since I really expected this to be more exciting than it is. Lisa and
What?
Kat,
Guessing the distance from here to there?
I thought there would be a little more sizzle to this.
Okay.
All right, so, Kat, you have to go first on this one, closest without going over. If you get in your car and drive from St. Cloud to Montreal, Quebec, Canada, how many miles is that?
1,400.
All right, Lisa, you want to go higher or lower than that? What's your guess? Remember, I'm looking for closest without going over.
Holding strong. Maybe 1,800.
You're both over. Only 1,150 miles to Montreal.
Really?
Yeah, it's about half the distance to get from here to Montreal as it is to get to Mexico City.
Interesting.
All right, well, everyone's going to be on the road, and I really expected this to be a whole lot more fun than it was. So, Lisa, great job. You're a winner this morning. Yay! Do you remember of any of your Thanksgivings gone past where somebody just ruined it all, other than your mother bringing turkey when you said you were making the turkey because she had no confidence that you could?
So that was a rough Thanksgiving. There was everywhere you looked, somebody was offended. And then, much like our family does, we push it down. And that was the only one that I can remember. So normally it's like the same thing. Everybody gets there. They start grazing. Then we all eat. And then a few of my relatives fall asleep on the couch watching a movie. And then my grandparents sit there and drink wine. we're downstairs with the kids. It's just it's the same thing.
I was 6 or 7 when I had my most uncomfortable Thanksgiving ever. So long story short, my grandfather was very abusive, and my grandmother left him, divorced him. I mean, she got chucked out of the church almost. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, you didn't do this. You stuck by your man, and you know what I mean? And so she gets a divorce, and it got really, really messy, and she was always afraid of this guy. He was very, very violent.
God, that's awful.
Long story short, my mom really stuck by my grandmother's side and pretty much disowned her father after the abuse she suffered as a child.
Yeah.
And then realizing that, geez, how do you beat my mom for this many years, you know? So I'm like 6 or 7, and my uncle is going to join us for Thanksgiving, and he always kind of stuck by his dad, right? Just it's a guy and a son and a father relationship, and he shows up to our Thanksgiving with my grandfather, and
he probably said, "Listen, if you're with me, they'll be okay."
Yeah, and I just remember, my dad pulling my uncle aside and going, "What the hell is your problem? What are you trying to do here?" "Oh, I'm trying to reconnect our family," and stuff like that. And
it's easy to try to do that when you're the one that wasn't the brunt of the fist, you know?
I just remember how poised my mom was in the presence of somebody that she really at that point despised. And even though he's your father, just knowing, you know, what kind of a monster he was, she was poised. She served him. I remember her even.
He stayed?
Yeah, like I for sure at one point thought my old man was going to kick them both out.
Yeah.
But it was very civil.
Wow.
But there was that tension the whole time. You're eating. I barely know this man, right? Like I'd seen him for like 2 birthdays or something like that.
You figured it out.
Yeah,
right,
well,
as
I'd
a
known
kid?
by then that, you know, this guy was not a good dude. So, right, I'm keeping my distance, and my sister's a little bit younger, so she's just, anytime somebody shows a 4 or 5-year-old affection, right, they're just like a dog. They love it. But it was so uncomfortable. And then I remember at the point, my mom was like, "Gary, do you want a beer?" And he goes, "I don't know what's going to happen if I start drinking."
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And so it's like a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. I'm like, it's all going down. My dad's going to beat up my grandpa. Like, I really thought it was going to happen. But if you got one of those situations where it was just uncomfortable, you want to share, we're here for you.